Hello viewers, are you guys up to know something which can be horrific and totally interesting at the same time? Today I talk about parasitism as a form of interaction among organisms, what it is, its geological past and a short project I have worked on. There are other forms of interactions among organisms too. To know more about them, click on the above link. Parasitism is a form of interaction among organisms where one species, the parasite, benefits at the expense of another, the host. Parasites can be in variable sizes, some ranging from being very small, like the bacteria or viruses, to being very large, like worms, which can grow up to a few meters. Let me show you an example. Viewers, please be advised that the following images may be disgusting, so please exercise caution. Do you know what this is? This is a classic example of parasitism of ticks on dogs. Here, the ticks are the parasites and the hosts are the dogs. The ticks feed on the dog's blood, causing them harm, such as weakening their immune system and causing diseases. Parasites have various effects on their hosts. These can include them taking advantage of their hosts, depriving them of nutrients, bringing about body changes or pathologies. Effects can also be large scale, such as them regulating the productivity in the ecosystems. They are present on every level of the food chain and drive interactions. These interactions are responsible for various ecological and evolutionary consequences. It is along these lines that many of the scientific studies today are carried out. Parasites affect various life forms from small fishes to humans. Diseases such as tapeworm infections, malaria, filariasis are very common in humans. This is another field of medical research aimed at creating cures and antidotes. So as you can see, parasites play an important role in day-to-day life. But have you ever thought of the broader consequences? For example, how will parasites and associated diseases be affected by climate change, environmental or geological perturbations or associated extinctions? The clues to such events can be found in the past. Life as we know it on Earth has a long history, and evidences from the fossil record show that parasitism has been a prevalent form of interaction among organisms through geological time. This can help us understand how parasite species and parasitism have been affected through time, climate change, and geological perturbations. The information about all these lie in the parasitic fossils, which are remnants of parasitic species from the past, and these may help us reconstruct the relationships between the parasites and the hosts. However, species without hard skeletons, such as parasites, are difficult to be preserved in the fossil record unless under extraordinary circumstances. Another challenge may be the microscopic nature of the parasites or the fact that they reside in host tissues which easily decay. But there are some extinct parasites with shells which parasitize the host with skeletons, allowing some interesting reconstructions using advanced analytical methods. Such parasites like the snails can be found to be directly associated with the sea lily host specimens or as characteristic traces which are indirect evidences of parasite associations with the hosts. These allow us to study the relationships between the parasite infested and the total host diversity. A study by Baumiller and Gahn has shown a proportional relationship between the parasite infested sea lily diversity and the total diversity of the sea lilies. In a similar study, my work involves a short project. Here, I have looked at parasitic infestations on sea lilies through the Paleozoic era, which is the time between 540 million years and 250 million years ago in the Earth's history. Sea lilies, as the name itself suggests, are sea animals having a flower-like body, supported by stems and usually anchored to the sea floor. By looking for parasitic organisms associated with sea lily specimens in fossils, I have found that snails, clams, corals and some worms infest the sea lilies. Snails infest the sea lilies more commonly and affect them by rigidly attaching themselves to the stem and decreasing the flexibility of the stem. Parasites also use the height of the stems as a support to get access to more nutrients floating in water. By counting the number of species of sea lilies infested by parasites in the Paleozoic era and comparing them with the total number of species of sea lilies, I have found a pattern like this. As you can see in this graph, the x-axis represents the time through the Paleozoic era and the y-axis represents the total number of species. The blue curve here represents the number of species of sea lilies infested by parasites, and the green curve represents the total number of species of sea lilies through the Paleozoic era. As you can see, the curves match each other. The relationship between the parasite infested sea lily diversity and the total diversity of the sea lily species is proportional. Also, I have found that when sea lilies are more abundant, the parasites infesting them are more diverse. This is just one example of parasites on organisms and their effects on them. Imagine this with the millions of species present on the planet. Sounds exciting, right? It is, and that's what makes them so interesting to study. With scientific and technological advancements, studies such as exploring the parasitic species in the past, linking the parasites with climatic studies and geological events can now be done more and more. I am off to study some parasites. What do you want to do? Come join me.